So then she puts it in a bag, and then she looked at me and didn't even say a word. Oh yeah, y'all gonna have some fun tonight. But anyway, guys, besides all that, I have a quick question for all y'all. How many of y'all in the audience likes to play games? Oh, okay. Alright, y'all like video games, huh? Okay, I have another question. How many of you guys like anime? Wow, gee. I was actually expecting the crowd to be, have a bigger response. Well, I didn't know that there was a lot of fans of video games and anime here. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. But man, I have a story to tell you guys. So look, there's this girl I know, right? I've been talking to her for a while. Nothing really major, but she's just one of those, just associates that I just talk to on a regular. And her name is Risa. But one day, me and her was just talking about relationship situations. And how we stumbled across this was because she was telling me that she just got over a breakup. Aww. Yeah, she just, I guess the guy broke up with her or whatever. And, oh no, you know what? She broke up with him. Yeah, she broke up with him. And, she said she was a little torn about it, but she said she just didn't like how things was turning out between him and her. So then I was asking Risa, I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm sorry about what happened, but if you don't mind, why don't you tell me about it? Why don't you talk to me about the whole thing? So she was like, oh, well, I'm a lady, and I'm an older woman. Yeah, this lady, she is up in age. She's like in her 60s, probably in her 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she's up there, but she still looks good for her age. I'm gonna have to give her credit, for that. She's aging pretty well. So she was telling me, yeah, I don't like it when these guys be trying to mess with me and just acting like I'm not the real deal and stuff. And I'm telling her, like, well, what do you mean? Like, what was he doing to you that caused you to end the whole thing? So then she was like, oh, well, how when you date a female and then all of a sudden, she just started to play with your heart, play with your emotions and stuff, and just start trying to be like a child and everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been through that a lot. I even go through that with older women too. But I told her, I feel you. You don't want to be with no one like that. And then she was like, well, yeah, I feel you. And I'm glad that you feel me too. I just don't like it when guys be trying to, be on that little childish stuff. And I really be hating when they be in the house all day, be playing video games. And I'm like, wait, what? Whoa, hold on. Yeah, right? So then that was when our differences came along. So I told her, like, wait, you broke up with him because he was playing with your emotions, right? Well, yeah, that was the reason. So what does video games got to do with it? Now look, guys, and women too. I really hate it when people like her and like everybody else. Here's the thing, you don't gotta like video games at all. But what I don't like is when people try to make it seem like video games is like the devil of everything. It's the devil of this generation. It's the devil of, just of relationships, all this stuff. And that's how she was. And to prove it, she was telling me this. Well, I just don't like it when guys play video games. I just think it's for children. I just don't think, a man, I don't think you're a real man if you play games and stuff. You're always in the house and stuff. And I'm like, Risa, seriously? Yeah, and I was like, she's one of those type of girls, right? And I'm like, look, lady. Now, if this man is always at the house and you want to go places with him and stuff, and he's not helping you, keep the relationship built up and stuff, and just doing things with you and just helping you pay bills and everything, he doesn't have a car and he can't take care of you, all right, now that's a problem. You got to get that taken care of. But that could be anything. A person could be in the house all day and not take care of you. In video games, maybe have a part of it. They can be in the house as busy just watching TV or just doing their own thing, be on the phone all the time, or just, you know what I'm saying, just keeping it to themselves. But they don't got to pay a dime. But yet video games is the whole scandal of the whole thing breaking apart, right? So that's why I told her, if the guy is able to take care of you and he has a car, he should be good to go, right? The video game shouldn't have to be a play of it. So you tell me you left this person because he played video games and that was it? She was like, no. It's just, I was getting on him because of that. And that's when I was like, oh, she's those type of girls. And it was kind of sad to hear because, like I said, by her being at that seasonal age, in my opinion, I think by you being a young girl, like I said, I don't like when people think that video games is like the main drawback of communication and just trying to get to know a person. Because I think people who says that are the main people who don't even play video games on a regular. Am I correct? Am I right? I know a lot of gamers. I know a lot of people that likes anime, and they are very sociable. The reason why they don't talk that much is because we don't like to communicate towards people that will be able to put us down. I mean, this is like a millennial culture where everybody likes to follow footsteps. That's like to follow everything that's hot now. And video games and anime is not one of them. You have to be considered different to like these type of things. And then when you like these type of things, you're going to get criticized. And that's how she is. She, in her age, and again, I said it's sad because by her being at that age, you would think she'll be at that gap and just try to go with the flow and be with a person that just have a good spirit. But she still has that mentality of a young girl, and she thinks that video games and anime is just a problem in the whole dating world. And by her saying that it's for children, I was just shocked that she said that. Now, I wasn't offended because there's a lot of people that's like that. But by you not playing games like that, and you think it's for kids, and you ain't even look. Here's the thing: there's a lot of mature games out there, and you think that they're for children. See, people like that, in my opinion, that just goes out and just judges other people's standards just because you're not into it, and you just quickly able to judge it. They're just ignorant people. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have you tried to recommend something different to somebody else, and without them giving it a chance, they just quickly judge it? They don't know. They don't have any knowledge of what it is, but by them not knowing, they think it's bad. See, those are just ignorant and stuck-up people, and people like her are like that. So that's why I told her, I was like, look, girl, y'all may have been through some bad things, but video games was not the way I sounded. It sounded like it wasn't the issue. It sounded like to me that you were just pressuring the guy to stop playing video games because it made you look bad because you was up in age and you think that you've outgrown that type of stuff. And then it hit me. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, hold on 1 second. I notice a lot of older people be on their phones playing games. Even the young millennial generation. And these are main people that don't even like games on a regular. So that's when I asked her, don't you play games on your phone? I asked Risa that. And then she was like, oh, I do, but that's just to pass the time. So I'm like, what the fuck? So what do you think we trying to do? When we play games for hours, what do you think we trying to do? Right? So then she was like, oh, well, I'm just trying to pass time. Y'all be on that all day. Well, look, first of all, we be on it all day is because that's what we like. So you're telling me for you to be playing these games, you don't gotta like playing it? You're just trying to pass time? You see how much sense that makes? So she came out to this way about just saying this to me. Well, if you play video games, you ain't gonna be able to find a girl, if that's how you are. And I didn't get offended when she said that. Nah, she had no idea what I've been through. So I just laughed when she said that to me. And what I told her, what I told her was, to find a female like you, I hope not. Because women like that would just do nothing but just slow you down and just put you in a certain position that you're not comfortable in. You know, I know a lot of guys and a lot of women that has like a certain hobby that puts them out there, that makes them, you know, that makes them stand out. And when they go into a crowd, or when they end up being in a dating world, they end up changing because they begin to you know, the people that surround them begin to treat them in a certain way and just put them on the spot, be like, look, what you're doing ain't cool, what you're doing ain't right. And it's like, this person ain't into any drugs, this person is not doing anything bad, they're just doing something, you know, they're just into these type of, you know, these genres, video games and anime. And by them being with that person that's not into that stuff, you're gonna get put down, and you're gonna end up starting to not like that stuff, because you want to be you want to make that person happy. And that's what she has been through. The woman I was talking about, the old lady, she saw what this guy was going through, and she tried to change him. And I guess she left him because she just couldn't stand him being through that stuff. Now, I noticed, you know, the people that's into that stuff, video games, anime, we're not really a strong team when it comes to people putting us in pressure like that. We get into depression, we end up questioning what we're doing, and majority of times we end up stopping it just to make that person happy, or make the crowd happy, right? It's rare that people like me get to speak out about this, because majority of times we just keep it balled up inside. There's a lot of people that go through these things, and then they don't even want to talk to nobody about it because they're afraid that they'll get criticized. So they just blend into society and just bury everything that they know and love. In my opinion, I think that's just a coward's way out. I used to do that too. I used to be the exact same way, to the point where I would try to shut off all the stuff that I liked. But then I realized, you know what? It's not me. It's just a circle that I'm in. The people that I'm surrounded by is putting me into it, is making me feel this way. And ladies and gentlemen, if people that you are cool with is making you feel this way, then don't be around those people. Those people ain't your friends. Because why would they make you feel so negative about how you are treating your own, you know, how you live in your own life? So you need to cut them out. Cut those friends out. Cut the people that you're dating out, because they shouldn't make you feel that way if you're not doing anything that's particularly putting your friendship or their relationship at risk. You are who you are, man. We're all not born to follow the path of everybody. We're here to express our own self, because we're all unique in our own way. Am I right? That's why, in my opinion, I think it's best, if you go through these things, is, you know, to take therapy. I have been in therapy, mental and physical therapy, and I've been through it for a while because I didn't have no one like me telling me these type of things. I had to learn this through therapy, and I was in a pretty dark place. But after those few years of therapy, I've learned a lot in this modern world, to the point where nothing really affects me anymore. I do a lot of things on my own benefit, and if I date, or if I want to meet somebody or just be cool with them or whatever, I'll be cool with them. But at the same time, I won't change myself just to make that person happy. And that's how you guys should be. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned so much in therapy, to the point where one of my therapists know now how educated I became, and they want me to become a therapist. And I'm like, I might in the future, but right now, let's just see how, these blogs be. Let's see how these blogs go. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. And don't even let me get into politics. Don't even let me get into politics, because they are another thing I want to talk about, man. is that you know how we as a nation, these past couple decades has been crazy when it comes to the murders and comes to, just all the things that's going on in the streets and stuff. And when you hear people talk about on the news, and you hear like politicians talk about it, Republicans and all of them, what they talk about, they say, oh, this violence got to stop, all this killing and all this mass murders and stuff, all this got to stop. And what do they blame it on? They're not blaming it on the street violence. They're not blaming it on the gang members. They're not blaming it on how the kids are being raised in their households to influence them to go to these dark paths. What they're blaming it on? Video games. They're saying video games has a part of it. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Here's the thing. If video games had a part in it, why wasn't it like this in the early 80s, in the late 90s? I mean, you still had killings and stuff going on. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Now, people these days, when they go outside, they don't even say to their friends, okay, have fun. They tell them, okay, be careful. Am I right? Because it's very hectic out here. You know what I'm saying? The reason why it's so worse is because these parents these days, and it's not just the parents, but these parents just don't even know how to raise their kids anymore. They always out. They always doing their own thing. They're not even paying attention to how they, what their kid is doing by themselves. They could be doing a whole lot of crap. That's why when their kids end up becoming a gang member or end up doing things, completely out of line, like shooting up schools or even committing suicide, what the parents always say, oh, I had no idea. I had no idea that this kid was like this. I had no idea. It's your fucking child. How the hell you did not know that? How the hell you did not know that kid was going to that path? Because you didn't try to understand what this kid is going through. You didn't try to talk to this kid. That's why majority of the times these kids don't talk to their parents like that, because it's hard to express themselves. And then when they try to talk to them about their problems, what the first thing that the parents tell them? Oh, just deal with it. I've been through it, so you got to deal with it.
No way!
I'll tell you what, if y'all parents are doing this to y'all kids, y'all need to be more careful, and y'all need to be more careful how y'all talk to y'all kids. Seriously. If your kid is going through something and they trust you to guide them through the right path, you need to be more accurate of how you tell them how to deal with it. If you just tell them to just deal with a certain problem, and it can be very bad to the point where they can just take their own life or just do something stupid. No, don't y'all know if it was that easy to just tell them to just deal with it, everything will be better? It's not that simple. It's not that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not. If that was the case, then I would be a therapist. But it's not that simple. Stop using the easy ticket out and just going on with your business, and just take the time to see what's bothering that kid. Sit down with that kid, and if that kid is trying to tell you, hey, look, there's things going on with me right now, and I just don't know how to deal with it. Sit down and talk to that kid, man. Sit down and talk and see how this kid is, see what this kid is going through. Back then, parents would do that, but now these parents don't even do shit anymore. They don't, because the government has beaten these parents and everybody up through these jobs. It's not the games that's bothering these kids that's driving them into that path. It's how they're being raised. And again, it's the environment. You need to look at how these kids are being raised in this environment, how they're being raised in their households. And I'm sick and tired of the people on the news not addressing it the right way. Video games and anime didn't do shit to this fucking country. We didn't do shit to this fucking country. So don't you fucking even try to say that video games and this and that had anything to do with any of that. It's how these people are being raised. It's how these people are being treated. When you treat somebody the wrong way, or if they're just in a bad environment, you need to be careful of how things are. You're going to be faced with opposition, basically. That's why the last movie I watched, I absolutely loved, because this movie I've seen, it was just about this guy. He was living with his mother, and they was in a bad environment, terrible environment, and this was a good guy. He had a mental problem, but he tried his best to just try to understand how life really works. But people was messing with him, people was bullying him, people was picking on him and stuff, and it was driving him mad, it was driving him insane, and the environment was driving him so mad to the point where he became a killer himself. You know what movie I'm talking about? I'm talking about Joker. Have y'all seen that shit? Y'all seen that shit, right? That movie was an epic masterpiece. That's why a lot of people like us, the gamers and people that's into anime, love it, because we understand that that's how this world really is. And that's why you got other people that seen it or didn't even try to see it, don't like it, because they know that that movie speaks some truth. It's not just about how Joker got originated, but it also gives you a door opening of how crucial and how cruel this world can be when it comes to just leading people to the right, leading people to the wrong path. And if you guys watch it, then if y'all guys seen Joker, y'all guys would know that this guy, Joaquin Phoenix's character, which did an amazing job. Would y'all agree to this? Alright. If y'all notice, the stuff that he was doing, the stuff that he was going through, and what drove him into madness. Did y'all see any game cartridges around? Did y'all see any scenes of him just playing video games and just going crazy off playing video games? No. I mean, did you guys see that stuff? Oh, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point I'm making. You need to open your eyes of how this world works when it comes to these type of things. And by you guys here in the audience with me, that's listening and y'all can relate to these type of things, this is what I need y'all to do. If y'all into video games and if y'all into anime, wear that proudly, man. Don't let people like her or the people outside of this place make y'all feel any different. Y'all are not like these people. You can't reason with people like that. And majority of times when you are doing something right for yourself, you're gonna get criticized by the people who don't got their lives together. Majority of times when you get judged and you're doing something right is by somebody that is not right in the inside, or they don't got their life together. Am I right? I mean, that even happened to me too. I've been with the female once and she didn't like none of the stuff that I did, but guess what? I was still with her because